following video may contain content parents may find unsuitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, it's Hunger again, and Brawlhalla. Am I too early? What's going on? Yeah. I was gonna wait till a little later, but then Siege texted me. He's like, "Are we brawling tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, is it that time already?" So I just like started preparations for streaming. He's like, "When are we brawling?" I'm like, "After 7." so here I am. I guess I'll do a little bit of ranky rank, huh? Since nobody's here yet, go ahead and do a little bit of the ranky rank. Let's see, what do we got? Let's do some Orion.
Orion.
All right, my ELO rating is trash, as we can see. Oh, look at Moon and the Raven. Look at her. Oh, there we go. Bruh.
3,
Ramen.
2,
You mean
1,
Raven?
Brawl.
Look at you camping the weapon, you ass. Oh, what now? What now? You gonna camp that one? Oh, thanks, idiot. Can't fight somebody with a weapon, huh? Is that your problem? Wow. Look at you. Fuck you. Actual idiot. Prepare to get 6 spammed. Boop. Hey, look, it's detainings. Playing ranked. Just a complete noob. Apparently. I don't know. Like, all they can do is camp the weapon. And if they fail at camping the weapon, they just lose. Damn. Make a room? Okay. I'm just playing rank because nobody was here. Wow. You were lame. All you do is camp the weapon. What you do? You gonna camp the weapon? You gonna camp the weapon? All you do is camp the weapon. Trash! Get out of here, weapon camper. Oh man. Do some weapon camping. Fucking ass.
Player 2 wins.
Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? No GG for you. You're absolute trash at this. You won because I'm not good at this game. Not because you're any good at it. You just camp the weapon. Man. Detainings would rinse that dude. Oh, a tier reward. Mark of the OEL. Whatever that is. Today you train on your PC? Okay. Alright. Cool. Okay, well, cool. Alright, let's make a room. Settings. Let's see. 8. Map set. Only the big maps. Only those. Screw the little maps. It's 393055 is our code. Pin that. Dang. Using upchuck and hell yeah! Chuck is my wingman. Alright, what am I picking? God.
Magyar!
Oh. Aquan out here using the Zoth. Alright. Man.
Three, two, one, brawl!
Man. I should probably open up the voice chat too. My untouchable voice chat. Now, I made a new voice chat for Pokemon because somebody kept coming in there while they were playing Brawlhalla and making comments about that rather than rather than what was going on. Here's the thing: the voice chat is supposed to be for people I am playing a game with at the moment. It is not meant to be just a drop in and say hi, or talk about your cat or whatever type thing. It's meant to be a chat for people that I'm playing the game with, so that we can communicate in real time, and they don't have to free up when they don't have their hands free for typing because they're playing. So when somebody is jumping in there and being disruptive, and when we're trying to talk about like strategy and stuff, it's counterproductive. Plus, YouTube gives me, YouTube, their stupid algorithm looks at engagement in terms of how many people are typing in my chat. So why would I tell people, oh no, it's okay, you don't have to type in my chat. Go ahead and use this voice chat to tell me anything you want. That's just shooting myself in the ass as far as YouTube is concerned. So it's been like that from the beginning, where I don't want people in the voice chat if they're not playing. People have chosen to ignore the rules, and sometimes I mind it less than others, but it's one of those things where when it's disruptive and whatnot, I'm just saying, like, I don't like to have to be the adult in the room, but occasionally I gotta put my foot down and be like, okay, no. I know, but sometimes I have to do it in this situation because there's a bunch of people, there's a bunch of little kids, people who act like little kids in my Discord sometimes, so. Azoth out here looking like blood from the faraway paladin. Alright. Is it faraway paladin or far off? I think it's faraway paladin. Anyway. New anime. Just started. Bruh. Okay, well.
Player 2 wins.
GG Aquan. Wow. They made the GG flashier. Alright, let me jump in on this voicey chat real quick.
Come in, you royal boob!
There we go.
Hello, Hunger.
Yay.
You know, honestly, this is my first time playing the game with the music, the volume turned on. I turned it quiet enough to where my microphone wouldn't pick it up, at least hopefully. And you know what? I do a lot better at this game with the sound turned on, because this game's actually got a pretty good soundtrack.
Nice. Yeah.
Magyar!
Solus with the absolute savage treatment of his brother in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the chat right now because, you know, I only have one monitor.
I know.
I was watching.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
I was only watching on my phone to get the room code.
Oh, okay.
And then once I got that room code, I just hopped in here, played that entire match, just sitting.
You call that savagery? I'll show you what else I can do.
God.
Okay, Pain. Jeez.
I think so.
You gonna go murder him real quick?
Are you gonna do almighty push on him?
Hey, you don't know.
Destroy your whole neighborhood while you're at it.
Y'all yeet. Y'all yeet again?
Ouch. Yeah. Rewatching Naruto with Solus, I will say this. It's even better watching it a second time.
Right.
Because let me tell you something. Spoilers, obviously, for anyone in the chat who hasn't seen Naruto yet, even though the anime's like this part that I'm about to talk about happened in like 2009. The part where they showed the truth about Itachi and his backstory, dude, I cried so much more than the first time I watched Naruto, because especially that part where it shows where it starts playing that theme, and it's Sasuke when he's standing at the edge of the cliff. And I also realized, again, that for now I'll just say Madara. I know the truth, Sasuke is, but quote Madara manipulated Sasuke's feelings, because yes, that really did happen. Danzo and the elders did order Itachi to do that, but again, the guy who we think is Madara told Sasuke this just to anger him and get him to want to stay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's been more emotional watching it a second time, just. And it's also a great anime. It's really great. It's a really great series. I still need to read the manga though, even though I'm pretty much watching the manga since I removed all the filler. I'll say this, last time, my first time watching, I watched a lot of filler arcs unknowingly, but this time I've gotten to Pain a lot quicker than I did last time.
Right.
Because I think in the anime, before Pain, there's like a few different filler arcs here and there.
Yeah.
There's one with the 6 Tails, there's a filler arc with the 9 Tails clone, there's, they're both pretty, and the 3 Tails filler arcs, yeah. There's a lot. That 3 Tails arc, I believe, takes place right before, Sasuke absorbs Orochimaru.
A lot of knowledge you got there,
I really hate the bow. I only like the axe.
Right. That's the way I was playing that guy.
Yeah, it's like Azoth's bow sucks, but like his axe can actually do some major damage. I say as I die. Well, I won the last match, so.
That's why axe is the best weapon.
Oh, I got the poop color. Let's see how that looks. Actually, looks pretty cool.
I like how Pain's power is literally just the ability to yeet people.
Yeah, just almighty push.
Almighty yeet.
Almighty yeet.
I want to do a fandom of that so bad. Like, just,
Almighty destroy the entire village.
I want to do an
Just to
abridged
show you-
series for Naruto. Just
And also to show you how powerful that Nagato is.
yeah.
He was manipulating all 6 of those puppets to do all that damage while he was sick and dying.
Mighty Yeet!
Yep. But yeah,
Yeah, he did that all while he was sick and dying.
yeah.
Reminds me of another character who was sick and dying.
Magnified.
Itachi.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I've been wanting to do an abridged series for Naruto. Like if I had the time, you know, that would just be freaking great. Like
Yeah, but if you think about it, technically both Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't have been able to defeat Itachi / Pain if it wasn't for Pain and Itachi both being sick already.
yeah.
It just really shows you how powerful those 2 characters are.
But yeah, like that scene at in the Forest of Death,
Yeah.
like wait, like not the Forest, yeah, that's the scene, not the Forest of Death, but the scene where Naruto and Sasuke are going out to climb trees, and then Sasuke brings Naruto back with him, and he's like, you know, and he can't walk, you know.
Yeah.
I was watching that with a friend one time. And as they walked in, I'm like, Naruto and I were in the forest doing butt stuff. That's why he can't walk.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's just, I just want to put that in a bridge series. Like, just,
Sasuke, please come back, I love you.
right?
No. No.
Alright.
Honestly, it almost feels like the whole reason Yaoi exists is because of the fanship between Naruto and Sasuke.
I mean, you know.
That's like the first anime that started Yaoi, I think, like unintentionally.
Right.
Because I mean, the whole reason Naruto wanted to bring Sasuke back is because he never goes back on his word, and he promised Sakura he would. But later in the series, he actually matures and no longer does it for Sakura.
Right.
I'm not going to spoil that, but
Right.
all-
Like,
yeah.
like if I were to do a bridge series, I'd want to do Orochimaru as Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, just like.
Oh yeah, please come around, please, so I can take over your body.
It's like, he's like, hey Sasuke, how's it going? Want to come to my ranch?
Man,
I
just
got all
have, just
kinds
have,
of great stuff there.
yeah, just fanned up all the filler episodes that have Gamakichi in them, and do the tally, make him just tally. He's literally just tally, because in the English dub,
Right.
he's literally, he
Yep.
sounds like a tally.
Right. What if I just got a little high?
I'm so hungry. Can you make any food?
Right.
I don't remember if there's any more of him outside of the episode where he's introduced, outside of filler, but I know he's...
Yamatatsu has a couple things, but yeah, not much.
Yeah. Now, Gamatatsu, he's in, like... I know he's in the Three Tails filler arc.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of filler, but he's...
Here's a thought. Imagine Michael Jackson's voice with Hinata.
No.
Oh no.
No, don't!
Terrible.
Hinata is nowhere near
Please
as
don't worry about
Michael
that, stop.
Jackson.
Oh,
Snap it.
alright.
And there he goes again.
Yep.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is that there something I did like about the Three Tails filler arc is there were some pretty cool moments in it. Like there was this part where Gamatatsu and Gamakichi take a bunch of oil from the land of the toads, and they
They deep fry corn dog and...
but yeah, no, they
Player 2 wins.
Naruto makes this giant flamethrower out of out of them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like they spent like the whole filler arc like teaching Naruto how to do like to toad flame bombs that Jiraiya does, and Naruto like never does that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's filler. He never does it after that filler arc.
Right.
That's why I hate filler arcs, is
because
filler episodes, at least filler episodes don't build anything up, but filler arcs build up these characters that we never see again.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Like there was that one guy with the lightning blade, that like that literal lightning sword, that they only showed him again when Sasuke was in bed after he'd been injured.
Oh.
Right before Naruto and Sasuke started to fight.
Yeah, well, and that was the whole thing was filler. They just stuck that in there.
Yeah, they just decided to sneak that filler in. I realized, I'm like, wait, it's that character from that filler episode, because I removed the filler, and I was like,
Yeah.
I know that Naruto Kai removes that entirely, though, from
Right.
there, because they remove all the mentions of filler, too.
Right.
But I did my best job at having Naruto Kai at home. And why it's Naruto Kai at home is, it's the dub, for one. For two, it hasn't removed the mentionings of filler, so...
Right.
We're still gonna see Naruto when he talks to the tailed beast be like, I know you guys! No, you don't! You don't know them!
Right. Yeah.
I hate when they try to do continuations on dub,
Yeah.
on fillers, and
Yeah.
the only good filler episode is the one with the masks.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is when you're doing a filler episode, your goal should be to leave as little impact on the main story as possible. You should not be adding relatives and doing all this other crap. Like, you should be like literally trying to just, you know, make an episode where things happen that are easily forgotten about and that don't matter to the plot at all. Like,
yeah, because like I remember,
Yeah.
I figured like Gurren and the Three Tails and Jerky, I figured they'd be important to the story, but no, they never mentioned them again. Or like this one character, there's this one filler arc where they're infiltrating Orochimaru's one of his bases.
right.
And there's like this ninja that uses like this weird like heart possession thing. But anyways, there's this one character they take back to the Leaf Village with them, and they never mention that character ever again.
So here's the main telltale signs that it's a filler arc. Like if you're watching the series and you're not using a guide and you don't know for sure if it's a filler arc, there are a few things that you can ask yourself that will tell you if it's a filler arc or not. In some cases, like it doesn't work for everything, but these are some things that are a dead giveaway. Number one, characters are using crystal jutsu. Nobody uses crystal jutsu besides Haku's crystal ice mirrors anywhere in the series.
Yeah.
So if somebody's using any type of crystal or gemstone-based jutsu, it is filler. Number two, characters are doing jutsu without making any hand signs. They just have their hands frozen in one stupid hand sign, and they're casting all kinds of jutsu. That is dead giveaway. It's filler. Like,
yeah, another giveaway it's filler is if there's a character who has a clone of a tailed beast inside them. There's only one time that happens in the entirety of the series canon, and it's not a clone; it's another half of a tailed beast.
There's also the Ginkaku and Kinkaku thing where they have little pieces of chakra.
Yeah, them
inside
too.
them,
But I wouldn't spoil them for souls. Yeah. All I'm gonna say is there's a few characters that do have parts of the tailed beast in them. But besides from that, like there's that one guy who had the tailed beast clone. Now that's filler, obviously.
Filler,
It was cool filler, but it was filler.
Right,
That's why I hate the filler arcs. Is because some of the filler arcs are really cool, but it's just better to skip them because they aren't important to the story, despite how cool they are.
Well, and again, it's something where even if they're okay, like the first couple times around, they're not going to stand up the same way that the canon content does because the writing is inferior. It's something like where when I watch Ranma 1/2 without skipping filler, like any filler episode that I've already seen a time or two is not funny anymore. Like the humor in the rest of the series holds up really well, but the filler episodes are just terrible. Like, and the difference is, you know, and I say it all the time, but if these people who write these filler episodes had any real writing chops at all, they would be writing for their own series that they crafted themselves, rather than writing for somebody else's series and making filler episodes. You know?
Yeah.
Like.
Right.
I have a question for my man Aquan there.
Okay.
Who's that one guy who Sasuke had that
All right.
injury with in that one fill episode of the regular series?
There was this like race that was happening, right? And they had
Oh,
I forgot what happened. Yeah, there was this guy with like green hair. He had like this sword that could wield lightning or something stupid like that. But he injured Sasuke. It was filler. It never happened in the manga. But they decided to have it to be a reason that Sasuke would be in the hospital again.
Right, because they wanted to do a filler arc in between the Chunin exams arc and the start of the next part of the story. And Sasuke was supposed to be in the hospital at the end of the Chunin exams. But instead they went and did this whole arc and then came up with another reason to get him in the hospital. Angel Gonzalez, yes, the code is pinned in the chat. You can join in anytime. But,
393055.
Anyway, back to the YouTube chat.
I mean, heyo.
Hello.
So
Yeah, sorry we didn't say hi right away. I didn't want to cut off Hunger.
Oh, I didn't say heyo immediately because I didn't want to interrupt the Naruto podcast.
yeah, well, everybody knows this is the time for the Naruto / Spider-Man podcast. Anyway.
Spider-Man. No, that's the Minecraft streams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the thing about Naruto.
So you're differentiating them now. The Spider-Man / Venom podcast is on Minecraft streams only.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, well then I guess I won't be telling him about the new Channel Awesome video about Spider-Man 3.
Oh.
What?
Wait, what?
Channel Awesome did a fanscription video. It says, "What if Venom wasn't in Spider-Man 3?" or something like that.
Listen to me really quick.
I haven't
I'm
watched
gonna
it.
I'm gonna stop you right there for a second. This motherfucker in the YouTube chat says Naruto is boring.
Wow.
Oh,
man.
something trash, something treasure.
Yeah.
Who? Nobody.
Don't
This
watch
man
the
is not
filler
here.
episodes. That's the secret to enjoying Naruto.
Yeah, don't watch the filler because this year I don't know what you mean by
Better
Naruto
yet,
boring.
just
because
read the
Naruto is
manga.
Naruto honestly has one of the best written shonen stories out there. If you remove all the filler, from the emotion to the fights to the characters, literally almost every villain and character in Naruto you can sympathize with. Almost every villain. You know, there's a few that like Hidan that I just hate. Like, you know, no sympathy for. Because he straight up just loves to kill people and has no reason to do it, nothing, and his partner too. Honestly, that death is pretty satisfying when Shikamaru got revenge. Anyways, back to the explanation why Naruto is so good. I've been watching it a second time, you know, showing it to Solus, and it's just watching it a second time. I realized how good the story is written, except for the filler, and how they have little things like world building, like when Sasuke sees the Great Naruto Bridge and he's like, huh. What, like, so, you know, they built that
so
bridge. That's what they
so
said
that
in the
actually
first
sticks?
arc of Naruto. Is that they name it after Naruto.
Huh? I didn't think that would stick.
It does. If you've ever... So you haven't watched Shippuden?
It's hard for me to say how far into Shippuden I got.
Oh, well,
Hunger would probably tell you if he remembers.
Yeah,
But
if
I think I got maybe a third of the way through.
Yeah. Third of the way with the filler.
That's
Yeah.
500 episodes, so...
With filler. If you remove all the filler, it's around 200, actually.
Oh, Hunger was skipping me through the fillers and the overlong exposition and crap. It was like the semi-abridged but not abridged version.
Yeah, you should start watching Naruto through Naruto Kai, which I linked to before.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know,
Whenever you get time. Yeah.
life finds a way of ruining any of my intents for fun or
Yeah,
enjoying my
whenever
own
you
life.
get the chance- Yeah, whenever you get the chance, of course. But,
Of course. Again, thank you for linking it to me.
Yeah, because this is the point where Sasuke. Well, actually, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen that, but I will say it's like probably getting close to halfway through Shippuden without the filler. The part where Sasuke goes to visit the Great Naruto Bridge.
Hold on. Angel Gonzalez in the chat's going all in on Akira being the best anime. It's, you know... Akira's really dated by now.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen Akira.
it was groundbreaking in a lot of ways at the time. Don't get me wrong. The plot itself is actually really good. It's just, you know, it's super sci-fi, which is not a bad thing. It's definitely not the type of anime that falls most strongly into my wheelhouse. But you know, it's not bad. Like it's definitely not a. It's definitely not the best anime that I wouldn't put it anywhere in the top 10 in my opinion, but that's just that's what opinions are about.
To give my unofficial review of how I felt when I first watched it, and Hunger was the one who introduced me to this movie. It was the first time that I ever really said the words the WTF. So I think that anime is the official anime of WTF.
Yeah.
It is. I've seen it before too. I'm pretty sure everyone.
Yeah,
Except for
most
Souls.
people who have been an anime fan for longer than about a year or two have probably seen Akira by now. But yeah, it's
yeah, it's a great movie, but I'd say it is dated. And
right.
If you were to say Naruto's boring, sure, it's an opinion that you can have. But no, I've never met anyone who said Naruto's boring.
Yeah, it's
one of the best written stories out there. I mean, now if you're talking about Boruto, then I can't blame you. But
okay, Miraculous Ladybug and Catboy isn't an anime. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's just
so
an anime
actually,
style
speaking
program.
of Boruto, I'm not ever gonna watch it. Hunger, are you ever gonna watch Boruto?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you're fine with spoilers.
I don't give
so,
a crap.
YouTube recently spoiled some crazy moments in Boruto for me. Apparently, not only does Sasuke lose his Rinnegan, but Naruto also loses Kurama. Like, Kurama just straight up dies.
Here's
Really stupid. It's really stupid.
Wait, is Kurama the name of the beast?
Yes, who Naruto
Okay.
eventually becomes spoilers,
Yeah,
friends.
Yeah, it shouldn't be possible for him to lose it without dying. So that's
Yeah, it's really stupid. It
anyway.
shows you. Yeah, Boruto doesn't even have the same writers. That's why I don't want to watch it. It's
yeah,
going to
it's
ruin
dumb.
the story.
Yeah, well, and
They
the
actually-
other thing is that the whole thing with Sasuke losing Rinnegan is that happens at the end because he no longer has the symbol.
Yeah,
Like that happens at the end of Naruto anyway.
I know. And for some reason, they give him it back in Boruto. He still has the Rinnegan eye.
I don't know why they would go there. That wouldn't work at all.
Yeah, it's stupid. They just wanted. I haven't watched Boruto, so I don't know the explanation why he still has it. But probably they wanted to make him still godlike like Naruto was. Even though Naruto ended like, oh, they both
Yes,
went
now
their
Solus
separate
in the
ways.
chat's getting all pissy because you spoiled it.
Spoiled what?
Boruto.
Why? I didn't know he was gonna watch Boruto.
He said I was going
I
to
thought
watch
you
it on my
hated it.
own, so thanks.
Well, geez, you could have told me, and you could have hopped in VC real quick and said, "Hey, don't mention anything about Boruto. I'm gonna watch it."
Well,
You can only
I
blame
didn't
yourself
care about
for it.
Boruto in the first place, so
Me either. I hate Boruto.
I was going to jump in here to tell you, but I decided against it because
So let me tell you something. Boruto's not even worth watching. I already watched a few episodes of it. Most of it's filler. The story's really stupid, and
it's
they
filler.
ruined.
There's no actual story there. It's all
Yeah.
filler. It's literally if the filler writers wrote their own series.
well, how the
like
fuck
if
was
they
I supposed
literally-
to know that?
It's like
All
if
this
some
is
other
Solus'
com-
All I'm gonna say
It's
is anything that happens in Boruto doesn't affect Naruto. So Solus, don't worry. I didn't spoil anything for you because we're not even gonna watch Boruto.
Yeah.
Basically,
I know you weren't, but I was
basically at the end of the
thinking of
Naruto
myself.
manga, there are like 2 or 3 pages where it shows like all the characters' kids running around doing stuff, and it's like it's supposed to be this whole thing about the new budding leaves and all that stuff, and that's it. Like that's how the series ends. It leaves a very nice ending where it's not ambiguous about who ends up with who and all that stuff. It very very nicely and kindly spells out who got married to who and who had kids with who and all that stuff. And then Boruto comes along and says, let's make a whole fucking series out of this and add a whole bunch of new kids that weren't in the manga and add a whole bunch of other new characters with stupid abilities and like.
Yep.
It's
It's
as
really
if
dumb.
Seth Rogen and some other idiot directors were to put together a literal sequel to Spaceballs and call it Spaceballs 2, the quest for more money, and there's zero of the heart and humor and creative talent behind it.
Yeah.
Yep. So Solus.
Mel Brooks was completely uninvolved.
Right.
The only credit that I'll give Boruto is that the animation's pretty good. But that's it. That's all I'll give it.
Yeah.
It's like the animation level is on the level of like all the big fights in Naruto Shippuden, so
Right.
they've definitely stepped up animation quality, but that doesn't help the fact that they are literally just filler episodes.
Well,
Like there's a whole arc in Boruto where the most recent arc, previous arc, like they were traveling through time, going back to the past, and going through all these big events that happen in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden.
right.
And
Well,
for
and,
some-
and people and a lot of people get confused on that because Boruto has a manga. But the thing is, on the manga, the original creator is listed as a consultant. He's not a writer. He's not like.
yeah, it's not
he's
even
not
written by
involved
the
with the
same people.
story. He like, and some people say that because
Orion.
he's not writing it, the females are better written because he doesn't know how to write women. And it's like, you know, looking at Sakura, you can tell that he doesn't know how to write a likable heroine. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, it's something where, like, he was trying to write Sakura as a likable heroine and failed miserably, and then he was writing Hinata as a side character and accidentally made her a super likable heroine. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
hmm
you know, he was trying to write Sakura as a tsundere or, like, type character and just failed miserably.
Yeah.
So
Sakura is definitely not a tsundere. She's just a
she's just
hoe.
a bitch. She's just a conniving little bitch. She's a
The more we
conniving,
watch Naruto
lying,
Solis,
manipulative bitch.
yeah, the more we watch Naruto Solis, I'm not going to spoil anything, but a soon upcoming arc will really show you Sakura's true character, and you're going to hate her after it,
Yeah. She's not
after what she says to
Yeah.
someone in that arc.
She says and does some pretty stupid things. Anyway,
Oh, I have to disagree. I really like Lady Tsunade.
Tsunade is great, but
Tsunade, we're talking about Sakura here, not Tsunade.
Well, you're saying that he doesn't know how to write a good, likable heroine,
Oh.
and
right.
I'm throwing my point
Yeah.
of
He does.
contention.
He does.
into the ring.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
There's-
Right? Is the female characters that he writes, no matter, like, basically the most useful female character in that whole series
3,
is Tamari.
2, 1, brawl.
Like, if you look at the female characters that he writes, like Tsunade, even though he has her like putting some powers on display and everything, anytime she tries to apply those powers practically, she gets her ass handed to her. She loses to Orochimaru, she loses to Madara, she loses to all kinds, like basically anybody she actually has a real fight with, she is a spectator. You know, she's not even actually fighting, she's just spectating and maybe healing people on the sidelines occasionally.
No, but it's not to say they're badly written though. They just don't have as they're not as powerful as the male characters.
They're
But the thing
definitely not
is,
as powerful as the male characters, regardless of how many girl power episodes in the series there are. And the characters, and they're, like I said, he misses the mark when he tries to make their personalities. You know, like.
one thing I will say they got the personality down good on though was everyone's favorite character Hinata.
Yeah,
Because
Hinata is great. You know,
we recently-
she's
Hinata's-
the pure-hearted character, and she does a good job at what she is. You know, like.
And so
He's the quiet, mousy one that Naruto marries, right?
Yes, she's a.
Okay.
yeah, and she we finally get to see her backstory, more of her backstory or her actual backstory part of it
Sarmad, yes, you can join.
in the
Go
pain
to
arc.
the
And
top
Solus
chat.
saw this too, so it wouldn't be spoilers. Like Solus, remember what we just watched when Naruto was fighting those guys that were picking on her, and that's whenever she basically fell in love with Naruto for his factor. He never gives up, even when he's clearly weaker than the enemy. He never gives up, and that kind of went on to her. And so in the pain arc, she does something. I don't want to say what. I don't know, Siege, are you gonna ever continue watching Naruto? 'Cause I don't want
Yeah,
to
but
it's a problem.
I'm fine with spoilers because I.
Well, Solus
No.
is in the chat too. Don't forget. Don't forget.
No, Solus.
thing I wanna-
Me and
only
Solus
thing I-
already finished that part. We're at the part where Naruto starts talking to Nagato. When you started streaming, right at the end of the episode, when Nagato says, "Let me tell you about my pain,"
Right.
and then when he starts telling him his backstory. So
Right.
that's the place I'll stop. I won't go any farther than that. But what happens is, so Hinata, clearly she can't defeat Pain, but she goes down to Pain to take the rods out of Naruto
Well,
and
see,
tries
like,
to
I
fight
don't
him.
think he's even seen that part. So, like, there's a fight where Naruto is fighting one of the members of the Akatsuki, and he's trying to capture Naruto, and he pins Naruto to the ground with these black rods that absorb chakra, so Naruto can't move. So with Naruto, pinned down, like everybody else in the village is just standing there gawking and not doing anything, while this guy just does whatever he wants. And Hinata jumps in to save her man. Anyway.
Yeah, she's a.
Do you get to see Hinata?
So.
Just one quick question: do we get to see Hinata kick some major ass at any point? Because she seems like at the very least, a glass cannon.
She does get more powerful. In fact, like later on, I'd say she's as powerful or more powerful than Neji. But she doesn't ever really get to. You don't really ever get to see her like in a one-on-one fight environment doing some awesome shit. Like she does have some kick-ass moments in some group battles where she is helping, like
genuinely
like
contributing.
Yeah, like in an army versus army type situation, but against the whole against in one-on-one fights, she has as abysmal a record as all the other female characters. Like Sakura has that one fight against Sasori where she's like that is like one of 2 times in the whole series that she's actually useful.
Yeah, and then when she stops that giant centipede, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because basically it's that and the very last fight, the very last move of the very last fight in the series.
Oh yeah, true. Other than that, the thing I was talking about Hinata though, what I was trying to say is it's her character that makes her. The fact that she looks up to Naruto so hard that her ninja is same as Naruto's.
Anyway,
she never gives up, just like Naruto, despite how overpowered she is with her enemies, and she got that from Naruto because he rescued her one day, and that's
hear. We're not doing voice chat in we're doing voice chat in Discord, not in Brawlhalla. All right, see you later, Jason. Appreciate it.
See ya. But yeah, Naruto is a really well-written series, despite what people may complain, and I can agree with them that they're not powerful, the female characters, but some of them are really well-written. Like Hinata's character is well-written. Tsunade has a good written character.
Yeah, I mean
that I forget what exactly it was about Tsunade being. But
like, you want to hear how badly written Sakura's is, though? Okay, she was okay. The only bad thing that ever happened to her in her past, she was made fun of for her big forehead.
Yeah.
So sad, man. Even sadder than Sasuke's backstory. Even sadder than the backstory for every single character, including Gaara. Gaara, no, screw his backstory. Hers is even sad. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
His actually is the saddest.
Pick one.
What? I can't see the chat, so if you're trying to get my attention...
You after stream, right?
I'm what? What?
Will we continue after the stream?
Yes. As long as you don't fall asleep.
Okay. I'm full of energy, man. Don't worry. Anyways.
You're full of something. No, I'm just kidding.
You're full.
Energy. He's full of it. I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you what I'm filled with. Determination and sexuality.
Filled with determination? Yes. Yes, always.
Being...
Also filled with kink, too. I'm just kidding.
Seeing the frozen spaghetti fills you with determination.
Watching Hinata try to rescue you, but then you think she's dead, fills you with anger and hatred.
As an Italian, the words "frozen spaghetti" make my blood boil.
Yeah. Now there's that part in Undertale where Papyrus has left frozen spaghetti out, and there's like a microwave there, but the spaghetti's frozen to the table, so you can't pick it up and put it in the microwave.
Oh yeah, is Deltarune a prequel to Undertale.
No, I'll explain Deltarune. I don't think Hunger's played it.
I'm not going to play it until it's actually finished.
Until it's finished. I don't blame you, even though there is a lot of content right now. I don't blame you.
I downloaded the first 2 episodes for free.
Right, it's a free-to-play game.
Switch.
Let me tell you something. Before I get into things of what Deltarune's about, already Deltarune chapters 1 and 2. If you take all the content from those, it's about the length of Undertale. Nice. So that's just to give you a hint. There are going to be 7 chapters in total. So just to give you a little tease, the first 2 chapters are about the same length as first Undertale. So this game's going to be massive once it's finished. With some really good story writing too. And 2 opposites.
Gary, yes, you are free to join in. The code is pinned in the chat.
Anyways, Deltarune already has its own genocide story going for it. It's pretty crazy. More impactful than Undertale's. But what I will say is that, so what Deltarune's about, to tell Siege, it's not a prequel, it's actually, well, it's technically a prequel, it takes place in an alternate universe. Oh. And in this alternate universe would be, like, if the, with certain characters being different, that mainly only being Chris instead of Kara, and for just to tell the ending of Undertale's True Pacifist, well, Hunger already found it, is that Kara was the human that had originally fallen down, and all that stuff happened with the sickness of Azrael. But basically, Chris is an alternate universe Kara who lives in the surface world with all these other monsters, and is Toriel's child. Toriel and Asgore are still divorced and everything, but it's basically Naruto but in the human world, pretty much. And the story works like this in Deltarune. You basically enter different dark worlds through different doors, and there are 7 different dark worlds in total, apparently, with 7 different chapters. So instead of being like Undertale, where a human fell into the underground is trying to escape, it's actually a kid and their friends going to different dark worlds and stopping the world from being destroyed, because there's all this... I don't want to spoil it for when Hunger finds it, but all I'll say is there's like this balance between dark and light in the story, and it's got a good story going for it. I really can't wait till it's finished in 2029.
Yeah, but we'll have to wait till 2045 for the entire thing to be released.
10,000 years for the end of
3, 2,
It's been 3,000 years, Floette.
Right.
You think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I barely saw the light before I was even a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Bane if he young, it has no mask.
Right. Fool, pain is my friend. Allow me to introduce you to it.
Pain if he Bane. But yeah, name a movie in which Tom Hardy hasn't used a voice that's hard to understand. Unless he's speaking in his native accent, of course.
Jeez.
Because like in Venom, Tom Hardy says a lot of words that are hard to understand because he like tries to force on an American accent.
Like a turd.
But he's not that good at it. And same thing for Bane, except Bane had like it was even worse, harder to understand Bane because he had a mask on that caused his voice to also be muffled. So think of a muffled Venom.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think in the Venom movie, though, Venom's easier to understand than Eddie Brock, just for the fact it sounds more like Tom Hardy speaking in like his European accent, rather than sounding like a baby. Pretty much. That's the problem.
Sorry for being idle this round. I'm answering important texts from family.
That's alright. But after you do that, do you mind actually letting me know a little bit about that Spider-Man 3 without Venom in it thing? Cause...
I didn't watch it.
Oh,
Just go to Channel Awesome. I meant to link it to you, but things have been happening in my neck of the woods that have, you know, continued to spin my world around me out of control.
Right round, baby.
One last time.
Round. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, it sucks, man. I hope everything gets better. That situation. I will watch the video though, because I really did like their story they wrote for the possible Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie. If they had made Amazing Spider-Man 2 have a better story and just removed Green Goblin from it.
Yeah. So, speaking of, things beyond our control and things like that. I looked into the Minecraft thing earlier today because, like, you know, I'd been hearing that people weren't able to log into the realm. So I went ahead and checked into it, made sure that the subscription was still going. It says we have like 52 days left, so there's no problem there. So I went ahead and contacted Minecraft's stupid support thing, you know, and told them what happened. Got their automated reply email that's like, you know, this is an automated reply email, but rest assured, humans are working on this. You know, so, it's like we are not a mechanized collective. We are definitely humans. You know, that type of thing. So yeah, I will keep you guys posted as the situation changes. Yeah, I tried logging in today, wasn't able to. So we'll hopefully be able to have a Minecraft stream on Wednesday, but if not, you know,
Wednesday?
Or Tuesday, sorry. We'll hopefully be able to have a Minecraft stream on Tuesday. If not, I'll have to default to something else.
Gee.
Maybe we could do another Pokemon stream.
No,
like
I have a default in mind. So.
Bravely, ha ha ha! Very funny. All I was gonna say is I got my Switch back.
Finally. Oh, good.
Sorry.
Good.
That's why I was wondering.
Sorry, Aquan. I made that joke before I even gave him that game.
Yep.
I said, you think you could brave a couple of months without buying yourself any RPGs? Because I'd hate the default to getting you a gift card.
Yeah.
Like for Aquan being able to join a Pokemon stream for once.
Yeah,
Yay.
right. That would be kind of nice, not gonna lie.
Anyways, that does mean that, hopefully the next stream tomorrow will be a Pokemon one since you're done with stupid Unbound, and it will be Pokemon Monday, so...
Yeah, maybe we could do something like that. Like, I don't know. Kind of on the fence as to what to do with it. Because Monster Rancher won't be out until December. God knows when Digimon's coming out.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's no reason for, aside from them not wanting to buy.
What is Hunger streaming on Monday?
I don't know. Maybe
What were
Bravely
you
Default, maybe
suggesting? I
someone
didn't
else.
hear what you said.
He was suggesting to do Pokemon Sword on Monday, and it's like I don't know how well that would work. So,
I mean, it has to be Wednesday, right?
yeah,
Maybe they'll remove whatever random thing to Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I think Pokemon Sword works better on Wednesday because I can stream earlier because I have work on Monday, so I can't stream before.
Oh, true.
Before a certain I don't get off until after 7
I
o'clock.
have a suggestion for another Pokemon ROM hack on Monday. It's called Polished Crystal.
No thanks.
Aquan was streaming it to me on his server a while ago.
One thing I will tell you, if you do like Crystal Virgin's story, but you hate the mechanics of Gen 2, let me tell you something about it. So I have to give you the download link to it. But basically, whoever devved it did some really crazy stuff, and so they added in abilities, natures, item icons, updated cries, updated base stats to make a lot of Pokemon better. Everything has their Gen 8 movesets, and even Pokemon have new abilities like Primeape has Guerrilla Tactics, which is insane. It's got choice items, it's got Life Orb, I think it's got Life Orb, it's got ability pills, it's got hidden abilities, hidden grottos, a lot of crazy stuff, and
it's a
new
Gen 2 ROM
areas,
hack.
there's quite a few new areas they added to the Johto and Kanto regions based off the Pokewalker routes, like named after them, and have their own areas and encounters, and it's all pretty crazy. Now you don't have to play that if you don't want to, because I know you usually like to play ROM packs of different stories, and this one's basically Crystal's Unchanged story. It's basically Gen 2, but it has all the features of the newer games.
You know what I would love to see?
What?
I'd love to see somebody go through the work of taking Fire Red, Leaf Green, and just adding Johto to it. You know?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Like it was a remake of Gen 2, except it's just like
reverse.
Yeah, it's just in reverse.
Yeah, where you go to Johto. That'd be
Go to
pretty cool.
Johto afterwards. That'd be fun.
That'd be a fun ROM hack, honestly.
You know, there is a what is it?
Hello.
Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver or Gold and Silver Chronicles that acts like Gen 3, but it's
That's Johto. That's just Johto. It doesn't even have Kanto in it. It's a decent hack.
it doesn't?
I don't know. I've never seen. Well, Rudolphin ended his Let's Play at the end of Kanto, so I don't know if it has. I mean, at the end of Johto, so I don't know if it has. Kanto.
Maybe he didn't want to do the post game.
He didn't even say he didn't want to do it. He just said, "I'm through with the game. I finished it."
I got real annoyed with Gen 2.
All I'll say is
It felt like a half sequel because it only had 100 new Pokemon.
Yeah,
And-
Gen 2 is my favorite gen though, just for the aesthetics, the soundtrack, the way the songs sound in the Game Boy Color, the sprites in battle look pretty cool, and the jump from the Pokemon that didn't really look detailed to looking a lot more detailed.
Right. Honestly, though, Gen 2 having only 100 new Pokemon is one of the bigger adds that a generation has made. The
Yes,
only
it
one
is.
that's more of an ad. The only ones that added more, I think, Gen 5 added 150 brand new Pokemon. That was the biggest add after
That's why I
Gen
only
1.
give us like 80. So
But yeah, Gen 2 is like the second or third biggest add after Gen 1 in all of Pokemon, because a lot of the newer stuff add way less than 100. Even if you include the regional variants and the
Megas and all that crap.
and the megas and all that, it's less than 100 actual new mons that are being added. Like,
Yeah, and that was one of my biggest pet peeves of Pokemon in general. Just
Yeah,
and
something I will say
it's
about-
why when I tried to get back into Pokemon after that, I started again with Ruby and Sapphire. Then when I heard, I think it was Black and White that was supposed to be the new 150.
yeah.
And you don't run into an old one until after you've completed the story almost.
Yeah.
And I almost got in with that one.
Yeah, because I thought that was really cool because it really brought back that same feel that Gen 1 had. It was the last game that was even capable of doing that, because now, anytime a new game is announced, they start showing off all the new Pokemon and what their types are and what they do. So there's never that surprise factor anymore, which is one of the reasons I started turning to ROM hacks with original Mons, is because, that's where you find that surprise factor. That's where you find that Gen 1 feel again. Because when you first play Gen 1, everything is fresh, everything is new, and then every generation after that, before Gen 5, was just like, oh, it's all the same Mons plus a couple new ones, and so you really don't have that much new stuff to figure out. But Gen 5, like I said, it brought back that Gen 1 feel, where you're going through and exploring a complete unknown scenario, So it's something where... I think that's something that Gens 2 through 4 really kind of failed at in a lot of ways, and with Gen 2 especially, a lot of the new stuff was relegated to post game. You couldn't get a single dark type during the main story. You had they all lived in Kanto.
Mm-hmm. That Polish
Wait.
Crystal fixes that, by the way.
Wait, which one was that did that?
Pokemon Gold and Silver, Gen 2. When they, one of the big things that they were doing with that game was adding the Dark and Steel types, but then they didn't put any Dark types that you could catch in the main story. You had to wait until you got to Kanto later on to get one, because because the only way you could get a Dark type in that game was to get Houndour, which lived in Growlithe's old spot, or to get an Eevee and evolve it into Umbreon. And the Eevee was something that you could pick up in the place that you got it last time, but in Kanto, so.
Yeah, and see that was the other big. Was the other big pet peeve I had about Gen 2. Yeah, we got these two new types, but we've mostly retconned a bunch of Mons into that type, and none of them, not too many of them seem to be full Dark types or Steel types. And they're still few and far between, even at that.
Right. Well,
so
that's
the entire sequel to me just felt so half-baked, and that's probably the main reason why I even gave up trying to play the DS remakes.
Right, and the thing with the new types is the thing with retconning certain Pokemon into those types happens every time, regardless. But I do feel like adding the Fairy type went a lot better than adding the Dark and Steel types, because like you said, or like we were talking about, there's there were some retcons, but there were a ton of new Fairy types that got added with Gen 6 as well. It wasn't just one or two, which really helped.
Something I'll say though about the polished crystal. What I was trying to say is that it fixes that problem with the Dark and Steel types and puts all the new Dark and Steel types catchable in the Johto region, so you can get them pretty early on in the game. And
So does polished crystal try to emulate the cut cell phone / internet features that? The
oh
original
yes,
had
okay, about that.
planned?
Another cool thing polished crystal does. It brings back the PCC, the big Pokemon Center in Goldenrod City, and they replaced the Wi-Fi thing that uses telephones with Wonder Trading. So it's got built-in Wonder Trading like Clover, and it's really cool. I actually recently got a Porygon.
It's
through
not
the
Wonder Trading with real people though. It's just Wonder Trading.
Nope, it's like Clover's Wonder Trading, but there's a lot of Wonder Trades in it. Now it is possible. It does have support to play with people, so it is like you use that VBA link thing that Hunger showed off before. And the battles work. I've tested it battling myself on 2 different saves. Polished Crystal, like I said, it updates Gen 2's mechanics all the way to Gen 8's mechanics. It has all the abilities up to Gen 8. It has all the moves up to. It has like Gen 8 moves since Gens.
Need some clown music to go with that juggling.
Gens 3 to 8 moves, Gens 3 to 8 abilities. It's got Alolan forms, and also another cool thing it has is, have you ever played Pokemon Stadium? Well, I mean, you obviously have, but like in Pokemon Stadium, certain Pokemon could have different color patterns on them based on their IVs. Well, in Pokemon Polished Crystal, every single Pokemon in the game has different color patterns for each Mon that is appearance based on IVs. So not just shinies, but different patterns. Like I found like an emerald colored Geodude and like a purple Zubat. Yeah.
Pretty sure that the different colors for the Pokemon in Stadium.
They were based on nicknames.
Yeah, they're based on your nicknames.
Oh well. Anyways, in this it's based on IVs, but it's similar to that.
There we go.
Those were
That
based
is a
on
feature
nicknames.
I miss. It's a feature I miss terribly.
Yeah, those were based
Since
on
they-
nicknames, but yeah,
Since they did the shiny thing, and that's the only way you have any kind of alternate color anything. I thought that's just really stupid how they changed it.
Yeah, in this ROM hack, it's based on their IVs. They can have different colors, and there's a lot of different color patterns. And also, something else cool they do is for Magikarp, Magikarp's different color variations are actually different patterns from Magikarp Jump, which was pretty funny. And the Magikarp Jump phone game, but yeah, they add a lot of cool things to Polished Crystal. It definitely make it a worthwhile ROM hack to play if you like playing ROM hacks that instead of adding new Fakemon, add just fix up the game and maybe take your favorite Pokemon game. Like, my favorite mainline game is Crystal, but it's got a lot of problems with it that the later games fixed. This game adds all those fixes into Gen 2, like abilities, natures, all the new moves and new abilities, making the game so much more fun. And it makes the starters better too, because the starters, you know how in Pokemon games starters usually have like boring abilities unless you get their hidden ability? Well, this ROM hack makes it where the starters have 2 abilities and 1 hidden ability. They have their main ability, which is, like Blaze and all that, but they'll more than often get their second ability, which is something usually a lot better. Like Totodile gets Guts, which turns into Intimidate when it evolves to Feraligatr.
I stole your chicken wins.
I literally just said that.
Okay. I didn't hear you, but okay, you wanted to get mad.
I just said that Totodile had gut.
Yeah, we didn't understand you, Solus, because it was bloop, bloop, bloop. Like that was literally what happened. Like
you literally hopped in, so we didn't get to hear what you said. Right. So don't get mad at me.
Like,
please leave me alone. I did nothing wrong.
Right. Anyway.
But yeah, Solus requested that. I wasn't going to request it because I know you don't like Gen 2 hacks, but I will say, now that I think about it, that does feel. The only thing Gen 2 about it is the graphics. Everything else feels like Gen 3. It's even got running shoes. It's also got a built-in sound player, which is pretty cool.
Cool. But yeah.
Gameplay and music.
I don't know.
And yeah, another thing from what I heard about Polished Crystal is that it does add some stuff to the story. Like there's new areas, and also apparently the story continues after Red. Like it doesn't end at Red.
Nice.
So once you fight Red, there's still more apparently. I'll have to get there to see for myself because I'm only halfway through Johto right now. Like I just got the medicine for Ampharos, so
Oh.
I just beat Chuck before I stopped streaming, and then I was doing a bunch of grinding.
Oh man.
But yeah, like Chuck's Primate scared me because I had Guerrilla Tactics, and I was like, hold on, Guerrilla Tactics. In this game, that means fudge any ability.
The wordplay alone.
Alright.
I have
Yeah,
no
that's-
idea what that's about, but the wordplay alone.
Yeah, there's a
Primate
I know,
with Guerrilla Tactics.
Guerrilla Warfare, Guerrilla Tactics. Yeah, so Guerrilla Tactics is the signature ability in Pokemon Sword and Shield of Galarian Darmanitan, who's a monkey, and what it does is it gives you a built-in choice band, pretty much. And what the choice band item is it's an item that's existed since Gen 3 that multiplies the holder's attack stat by 50%. Like, increases it by 50%, or, multiplies by 1.5 at the start of the battle, throughout the whole battle. But Guerrilla Tactics does this as a built-in ability, meaning you don't need a held item for it. You can give it any other held item you want to also add on to that. So you can also do stuff like give it a choice band and give it essentially huge power, or you can give it a choice scarf.
Two choice bands.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. And you can give it a choice scarf, which makes it fast and hit hard. You can give it a life orb. You can give it any item really, and it's like having two items at once. It's insane.
Diabetes.
It's an insane ability, and the name is hilarious. Guerrilla Tactics. I liked the wordplay on it when I first
But yeah,
saw it.
Darmanitan is a cross between a Darumidal and a orangutan. That's the joke.
Yeah, and the Zen mode looks awesome. Too bad the Zen mode in Black and White sucks, but the Galarian form Zen mode is actually pretty good.
The Zen mode, Galarian Duranitan, is literally a snowman on fire with a blazing nose.
Yeah. I mean, Solus, if you're trying to say stuff, you should probably just stay in VC, because
Pengus, the flaming snowman.
the constant da-da noises are getting annoying.
That's what it is. He's trying to be respectful of the rules and not spend all of his time in chat when he's not playing.
That's understandable. I appreciate it too. Just wish his Steam wasn't hacked so he could actually play it with us. That's why he hasn't been able to play on Steam, is because his Steam account got hacked.
Oof. My sincerest condolences.
Yeah, it really was really painful.
And I would hate it if my Steam account got hacked. Then I couldn't play, I Love You, Colonel Sanders.
Oh yeah, maybe you can stream that on Monday.
Maybe the thing is, last time I tried to stream it on Steam, it didn't really turn out that well. I feel like with the difficulties I've been having with that game, I'm going to need to get like a laptop or something and download it onto that, and then just hook that up to the capture card and pull it that way. That way, I'm not trying to record on the same thing that's playing the game. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you would have.
Because it
if
just
you
takes
wanted
up
to
too much memory.
Yeah, I was gonna say you would need enough RAM to run Crisis probably on your system.
Yeah, I would need a lot more RAM to get that done.
Speaking of which, Crisis Remastered Trilogy is hitting consoles in a couple months. I'm not gonna try putting it in my PS4. Yeah, I kind of gimped my computer when I tried to run a used copy on it. I thought, oh, this game's like a decade old. My piece of junk can play it. Nope.
Nope.
Rush out and buy a new video card. So anyway, I spent half the month driving without insurance.
Oh no.
didn't realize it. So let's do a little bit of rewind sound effect here.
That was spicy.
Oh, that was spicy.
At some point last month,
You gotta be kidding me.
Pulled one out.
My
once
controller
again,
died.
Your controller died. My gosh.
Get out the rest of this screen.
Breathe, controller, breathe. I know I won, but it wasn't that much of a shock. You don't have to have a heart attack and die. Appreciate it.
I want to give Aquan permission to stick around and chat.
Yeah. Right.
Even though simply because his controller died.
I am right.
So
anyways, boot Aquan here. That's
Yeah, just boot me because I'm not able to control myself with my keyboard right now.
Where'd you get your controller? Dollar Tree?
No, my controller. Last time I charged this controller was like a week ago.
Oh.
It has a really long battery life on it.
Is it a Pro or a wannabe?
It's not a Switch Pro controller. It's an Xbox One controller.
Oh.
I would use a Switch Pro controller, which has an even longer battery life, but I don't know how to
yes.
connect it to Steam.
Is the second option kick? Hang on.
Just
I need a
try to
freaking
kick
magnifying glass to read this shit.
Yeah, it's like saying press Z to go back, which I'm doing, but that's not doing anything. So.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and kick Aquan real quick.
Yes, please.
Aquan booted. No.
There.
Don't leave.
Right. Had to go ahead and boot an Aquan.
Yeah, that sucks. My controller died.
All right.
So anyways, some point late last month, Mom forgot that I was given the title of the car.
Yeah, Hugo, not a problem. The pin is at the top of the YouTube chat. Yeah, go ahead.
And she got iffy with me for some reason, and she said, I'm about to the keys of the car again. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So the very next week, month rolls over, I go and I get the title changed to my name entirely to put a permanent end to that garbage. So we had this standing agreement at the beginning of August when she dumped the rolling money pit on my lap after having thrown $125 for oil change and battery replacement for the sucker. And she said, okay, well, I'm going to stop paying the insurance on this soon. And I'm like, okay, can we keep it being paid by you until the end of November when your current term ends? Because that will give me enough time to get Christmas for everybody and to have some cash saved up, for my in case shit fund. And I'll be ready to handle life as a fully responsible adult with the car, fully under my responsibility. And she says, okay, that's fine. Just remember, 1st of December, you've got to get insurance. I'm like, okay, I'm good. So, Tuesday night, Mom gets rushed to the hospital from the nursing home.
Yeah.
Her blood sugar plummets once again. Sorry, Hunger, you already know this, but you're the only person who knows it besides me. They stabilize her again, and she's in a semi-stable state. And on one hand, I did take this opportunity to say my final major apologies and thank yous, and get them off my chest and from my heart to hers in case there's never another chance. So at least that positive thing happened.
Dominating.
And so I stay there until they tell me that the hospital is full, and so they're going to keep her in the ER room overnight until a room opens. So I had to leave, and I had to get some sleep because I'd not slept in 2-3 days at that point.
Right.
Slept for literally the entire next day, and then I come back. I come over to see her after a really long, frustrating day. And I come to visit her. I'm forgetting the sequence of events here. Give me a minute.
Someone killed you? Oh, okay, well, sorry about that. Happens a lot.
She,
Shut down.
She's in a terrible mood, and I just barely sit down, and my aunt and uncle call me and tell me that the insurance was in her, the insurance that had me on it also was based on the title being with her name and my name on it, and they can't cover me. She can't stay on that same policy and her be paying for it and it be covered if it's just my name on the title. So I'd been driving around town for about 2 weeks, uninsured, illegally.
Yeah, without realizing it. Yeah.
Without realizing it. So I had to scramble and get insurance overnight online. And thing is, I didn't realize that getting your insurance overnight online 24-hour service was a thing. Okay? I'm still adjusting to living in the 21st century, apparently, because I've got too many boomeristic tendencies. But due to this boomeristic tendency and assumption I was making, I thought, oh crap, it's like it was Friday evening, and I'm like, well crap, they're all closed. I won't be able to make it to church, and I desperately need to get to church this weekend. I've got so much on my plate. I need some wise counsel. And my mother sits there and mocks me.
Yeah.
She is elected. I mean, basically, I got screwed out at what should have been $160.
Yeah.
Essentially, okay? And my ability to blow people's minds away at Christmas is in jeopardy at this point.
Yeah.
And also, my ability to have any kind of cushion for the future is also damaged at this point.
Right.
And she's laughing at me and smirking at me and saying, "Welcome to life." I'm like, I was this close to saying, "Yeah, well, welcome to death."
Player 2 wins.
Yeah, we don't just kick you out after you lose. You can keep playing.
Orion.
It's not a problem. Anyway.
So I get so livid that I start having heart pains. I told her, "Mom, I love you. I have to go. I'm having blood pressure problems," and she just laughs at me as I walk out.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrible.
So whatever part of her that's still coherent
3,
or
2,
mentally stable has decided to use those last moments to screw me one last time, one final kick in the groin, and laugh at me about it.
Yeah.
But some things have somewhat turned around. I'm gonna say my deity of choice is coming through, and Christmas is not in danger.
Right.
My ability to do to have a bit of a cushion may or may not be, but at least Christmas is saved.
I got bombed in the face. It was terrible. But yeah, let's see here. I feel like,
and also,
I feel like she's coming from a place of, thinking that, that you're childish and immature and whatnot, and that's not necessarily entirely correct or incorrect, but at the same time, she didn't need to be that brutal about it,
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she's a narcissist, covert narcissist. She doesn't go out bragging about how great she is, like a certain deposed president. But it's more of the I'm a victim, everyone's awful, and I need to be treated like an absolute queen because I've put in so much work in life and all this stuff, and I deserve extra privileges and so on and so forth. And she's also a master manipulator. So the master manipulator part comes in where she does things that will make me lose my cool and look immature, and like I lose my cool easily, when she knows it's just that she's been pushing all the right buttons that she's installed over the decades. And then when she does something and I lose my cool, no matter how many times I, sit back and take it, it's, oops, see, there it is. Hasn't matured since he was 18 years old.
One of the things about narcissists is that when you don't do everything the way that they want, they belittle you and try to devalue you as a person because you're not cooperating. So
right,
yeah.
Or I'm not giving them their supply.
Right. If you're not a yes man and you're not twisting into awkward positions so you can smooch their butt, they're going to not treat you with any sort of respect whatsoever. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I became wise to all of this a good few years ago, and it was like the minute that she realized that I knew what was up, and I started calling her out on it, she cranked it off to 11, and then after that cranked it till the knob broke off, and
3, 2,
that was her new normal.
brawl.
Yeah.
Especially after her cat died. It's like there was no longer any buffer or anything to keep her half sane. It's like something snapped in her.
Right.
And I knew that the minute that cat died, it would start going downhill anyway.
Right.
Because, in that cat, she had the perfect, lovable little thing that can love her back and never do any wrong.
Yeah, that's really why so many people love animals so much, is because they're unconditional love. But at the same time, when you're talking about, those types of people are often the types of people that do have some sort of trouble interacting with their fellow man. So, it's, like somebody talks to them and they have that same internal monologue as the guy from How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. like that's what that scene where he's like panicking internally when the girls are talking to him is just hilarious. He's like the girls are talking to him and he's like, oh crap, what do I say? I've never talked to a girl before. Wait a minute. Have I ever talked to anyone? It's like, all I can remember doing is soloing my entire life. It's like showing like all these flashbacks of him as a kid, like playing in the sandbox by himself, and just
oh man,
just never interacting with anybody. It's like he's like, wait, I do have interaction experience. It's like playing a video game, it's just.
My main problem is every time I got with the program, someone changed the operating system.
Right.
See, I was taught how to act well with people and be kind and share and all that good stuff, and to be loyal and a good friend and all that. But apparently, I was the only one in my midst who really got the memo.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is, I used to be fairly reserved as a person, and after 15 years of working at a bar, I kind of came out of my shell, and the sense of humor I developed was one that was developed around drunk people that used a lot of crass sexual innuendo and stuff like that, and nowadays it's all like, oh, if you use jokes like that, you're a misogynist, you're practically a rapist, cancel them, it's like, oh, come on.
Well, I say everybody who wants to forcibly jab a needle in your arm and call it for the sake of public safety, those people are all rapists at heart.
Well, I get the sentiment, but I do think that it should still be up to each individual to determine whether or not they get vaccinated. Hence why we don't have any national force you to get vaccinated thing going on. Like,
Oh, they're trying.
no, they're doing mandates at the employment and school levels, which is perfectly legal, because there are other things that you can do besides those jobs or those schools. You know, you have other options for schooling, you have other options for jobs. You don't have to do the jobs with vaccine mandates or go to the schools with vaccine mandates. You know, so
Yep.
it's something where as long as it's not something like you know, you have to get a vaccine to get your Social Security card or anything like that, then you know you're you know, yeah, it's not to the point where it's forcing you to get a vaccine. Like you said, you have the option to decline and go get a different job that's not in public health or any of these other jobs that are mandated to get vaccinated, you know?
Yeah.
So...
I agree with that sentiment that everyone should have the choice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for a lot of places like the military, your body is not your body when you
Right.
sign your body over to the
And-
government for to be an instrument of death.
Right. The thing is, there's way more harmful things that troops have been put through over the years than vaccine testing. They've put troops through things like nuclear fallout testing and stuff like that. So, I'd say this is pretty tame by comparison, you know. And
Only time will tell.
you know, so yeah, but you know but you already said the answer to that one. When you sign up for the military, you are literally signing over your human rights to Uncle Sam. They own you.
Right.
They tell you where to live. They tell you, you know, where to work. You know, they tell you where to jump and how high. You know, and even if you get discharged, they can still potentially call you up for certain things, depending on the situation. You know.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not a thing that I recommend doing unless you are absolutely certain that you want to entrust your entirety to this country. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't sign up to fight for my country if they were giving out super soldier serums.
I don't
Because
wanna-
I'm just now realized that I have ended a nearly 40 year reign of terror over my life, and I'm starting to really break out of my shell in ways you could possibly not imagine, despite the pain, grief, and sorrow I'm walking through right now. And there's no way that I'll undergo anything that would restrict my freedom ever again.
Right. Right. You know.
It's like,
It's funny because there was a guy I used to hang out with, play D&D with back in high school, and he didn't have a lot of prospects coming out of high school, so he ended up joining the military, and I ended up talking to him when he was in his capacity as a military recruiter, and, you know, basically told him, listen, you know, I'm not cut out for that type of thing, you know, even if I really was gung-ho about joining the military, I'm gonna be too big for most equipment, and, you know, not gonna be the type that would fit neatly into a trench or, you know, like, that sort of thing, so, you know, and so anyway, I guess he like took me off of their call list or whatever. I haven't had any, you know, sort of calls or petitions to join the military since then.
I haven't either.
But yeah, so
well, there are plenty of non-combat roles.
there are, but you know,
Player 3 wins.
something where, you know,
I mean,
I would just. Right now, I have other prospects. I have other things that I'd rather be doing, and you know, I've never thought of. I'm not one of these guys that grew up thinking guns were the greatest thing in the world, and that I wanted to, you know, have one to sleep with every night or anything like that. So,
Like, I think guns are cool and everything, but I'd rather have my freedom.
yeah, that's the thing is, guys that a lot of guys in the military are that type of guy though. That the guys that like are kind of gun worshiper type things. Not everybody. Like I've met tons of military guys, and most of them are super nice. And honestly, working with a military guy is great. If a guy's in the military and you have them applying to a job at your place, they are usually awesome. They learn really fast because they have to in the military. So they're basically taught to learn faster. Like they get instructions after the first time, and they don't have to be told again and again to do something. Which is really great for most jobs. So I definitely recommend hiring military. Every military guy I've had the chance to work with has been fantastic.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of jobs that don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, there's a growing anti-soldier sentiment because the idiot mindset is, oh, these people are trained to kill and murder and everything, and we don't want those psychos having regular day jobs because they could snap at any moment with PTSD.
Yeah, when in reality, I've worked many jobs before where they hire literal druggies who have, like, I was working at, I didn't work at this, but I did go to a Dairy Queen one time, and there was legitimately a guy working there who had a teardrop tattoo, and I'm pretty sure that means they killed
somebody, right?
It's like, oh, you're gonna hire someone like that, but oh no, just because somehow soldiers kill people on their own choice.
You know what I have to say?
Orders.
Yeah.
Everything about the job that I had recently sucks.
Yeah.
Nobody there was part of the military, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When you are looking for a job, most jobs you find, like 99.9% of jobs that you're going to find out there, are going to be things that are a job. They're a thing that you do because you want money, and companies wish that everybody who walked through their door and applied to work there was somebody who was walking in their door and applied to there because that's their dream. But most of those types of jobs that wish that are not going to be anybody's dream. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, I don't think there's anybody who wakes up in the morning as a little kid going, man, I wish I could work at McDonald's someday.
No.
But but it's one of those things where when you find that type of job that's your thing, it's truly a wonderful blessing in your life. When you find a job that's like, yes, this is the type of job that I want to be in. This is my field. This is where I excel. That's the type of thing that you can devote your life to and make a career out of. And be happy with it. Like anything, like I said, I feel like anything else isn't a career. It's just a job. So
when you love your job, you never work a day of your life.
Yeah, I mean it's something where I have the occasional aches and pains and whatnot working for my sister at the anime store, but I really love it there. And I might complain about certain aspects of the job, but as a whole, it's the best job ever. So, and I don't think it's for everybody either. I don't think that just anybody would go there and have the best job ever. But
honestly, I wouldn't mind working at an anime store.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love working for Heather, I don't think I'd do very well for a good while because I know like maybe 3 anime that are maybe current still. And I have 0 love for card games.
I like card games. I like anime. I like card games. I like video games. If there was a place like that near me, I'd definitely apply there. Or if I just move to Oklahoma. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we have people calling or coming in and asking if we're hiring all the time. Like, and it's like
unless you're related.
Yeah, it's like we're not hiring. Everybody who works here or has ever worked here has been the subject of nepotism. So
yeah, pretty much a small family business, right?
It's literally a family business, and
I got to pitch in for a tournament and got some money. Does that count as nepotism?
No, it's basically she will occasionally have somebody do a little work for her for a little bit of cash or a little store credit, but like you know, most, like, she's got me working there full time now, for the most part, so, she usually doesn't need any other help, but yeah, it's something that, you know, we've been getting along well since childhood, so it's not that we never fight or disagree, it's just that we know how to act around each other for the most part, and I think that we are a good team most of the time. So it's something where you know, there's things that she knows that I can't do, and there's things that she does that I look at it like looking at her doing that. She might as well have somebody's brain opened up, somebody's skull opened up, operating on their brain. Like I would just never know where to even start with some of the stuff that she does. But,
well, that's because she's one of the few people of her in our generation that came out of college with something that's actually useful instead of a liberal arts degree or gender studies and a copy of Mein Kampf or the Anarchist Cookbook.
Right. I don't know about how much of that's going around on college campuses, but I do know.
I mean,
that,
something I will say is that college can't. The thing with college is the whole joke of college, right? Is that you always earn it. It's not just a stereotype either, because I have friends who go to college, and it's true that there are normal people at college, but there's also a lot of like stupid people at college that are like either to the far right or the far left, and they're a bunch of clowns that just revolve their entire life around politics. And that's one of the things that scares me about college, and I really do want to go so I can further my career rather than just going job hunting and working minimum wage to minimum wage.
Right.
It's just that I can't deal with people like that. People like that frustrate me. Like, I couldn't focus on my work, you know,
So-
if
College is increasingly a scam.
Yeah, here's the thing with college. Back in the day, a college degree used to mean something because it was rare. Not that many people were able to get to. Now you've got scholarship programs and all this other stuff, and people weigh college degrees less heavily on an application. They're going to be more impressed by things like, oh, I've got a PhD or a bachelor's or something like that. So they're constantly raising the bar as to what matters on an application with some people. And the thing with college, right, is our school system was something that was originally designed to teach people to work in factories. That's why we have the little rows of desks, so that you get used to working in an assembly line type environment. But now we don't have a lot of factory jobs here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Most of our factories are at least 90 some odd % automated. So when you have that type of stuff going on, nobody ever thought to go back and change the way schools are taught. In fact, instead of shifting the focus towards teaching real-world skills, we've been cutting them. You used to have things like auto shop or metal shop and wood shop at these different schools, and they're not being taught anymore because they keep getting cut for funding reasons. You used to have driver's ed in schools.
And we would also have classes on how to shoot and load and take care of a firearm, and kids could bring their rifles to school and there'd be no problem.
And then
Boy, is that a bygone era.
Right, but
that's
anyway.
1999.
Right, so the point is that these days, what schools are good at teaching you to do is to go to college. Like, so high schools and all of our other lower education systems, the thing that they provide the most aptitude for is taking classes in a college. And then college, when you get there, the thing that college best prepares you for is a career in teaching. Like,
or graduate school.
Yeah, like they either prepare you for a career in teaching or for more school. Now there are people that do have degrees in various fields and that do very well because of the things that they learned in college for those fields. However, my sister, for example, she wanted to she majored in business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her minor was in Spanish, which was actually helpful in some of her business dealings. For example, she was the manager at a Krispy Kreme Donuts. They had Spanish language speaking employees, so she was able to communicate with the staff or listen in on the staff in some cases in a way that a normal manager might not be able to. But some of the classes that they had her take were things like botany. And it's like, why the actual hell are students being forced to take something that has absolutely nothing to do with what they want to do in life? Like,
They have to pay for that
they
privilege.
have to pay for the privilege of taking a class like botany to get their diploma in business. And it's like, what the
Garbage like
actual
that.
hell?
Garbage like that, plus the idea, the very concept of what they call filter classes are the reasons why I cannot stand any academia outside of the one with Deku in it.
Right.
I was about to say that outside of My Hero. Yeah.
Right. So it's something where when you're talking about college as a thing, there really needs to be some legislation or something that says, hey, colleges can't force people to learn completely unrelated shit. If they want to, that's great. In fact, I don't know, honestly, botany should be becoming a lot more popular with so many places legalizing weed. Because if you think about it, well, how good would that look on your resume if you majored in botany and you're applying at a grower? That would be something that would be worth putting on an application if in that field, right?
Grow food and dirt? Nah, skip time. Just eat dirt.
Anyway, so it's something where if you're, I'm saying that there are jobs that use the stuff that you use in college, but there's not really any job that's going to use all the stuff that you're forced to learn in college in order to get a piece of paper.
It's part of why trade schools are better in college because they just teach you a job right away.
Right.
That's what I was gonna tell you, Agwan. If you must go to college, make absolutely darn sure it's for a career that has growth potential in the market, and that you're gonna walk out with marketable skills and something that's gonna look great on your resume. Otherwise, you are blowing away money that.
I know. That's why I wanted to go to trade school. Because
anyway, Red Bunny, yes, you can play. The code is pinned at the top.
Ever since I was 6 years old, I've wanted to.
Code is 393055.
Yeah, ever since I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a video game designer, and I've always wanted to make some sort of programming that evolved into, even if I don't get to program video games, I know programming or computer work is a really nice field to get into right now.
Yeah.
And if I go for that, I could actually also probably find enjoyment out of it, because I could also, on the sidelines, program my own video game, where I could do something similar to what indie devs do, and maybe get lucky with a really popular game that I end up making, while at the same time, meanwhile, it's working a smaller job, and then I get really popular, like Toby Fox did, or some of these other games that are like Amori, and I know Amori is a really popular indie game that a lot of people play, and it's just the fact that I always wanted to make a game. I don't even want to do it for the money. I just want to make my dream become a reality.
Right.
The thing is, it's
Naruto.
Yeah, well, I'm going to speak to you as a compassionate adult who once had that same dream. How good are your math skills?
How good are my math skills? Well, while I find math boring, if I am in a situation to where I need to use that math to help myself succeed, I'm pretty good at it. When I'm using math in video game related content or something related to something I'm designing, then I get really detailed in it. Like the calculations done in competitive Pokemon on Showdown, if you actually calculate how easy it would be to take down a certain foe with an attack. This is just an example. When it's something I'm interested in, which would also be developing a video game, then I can be pretty good at it. But if it's just boring math that's completely pointless for me and all I'm doing is an assignment in school, then I won't like it.
Okay, well, programming is very tedious.
Yeah, I know.
Math skills have to be out the wazoo, like level 5 calculus or some junk like that.
I
and
know.
it has to be
know
as
that-
easy for you as speaking English.
You know that Aquan has done ROM hack work, right?
I
Like,
did not.
yeah. like,
I know some basic programming.
Okay, alright, so
I'm not that advanced yet, but I feel like if I take certain classes, I could really grow my skills. And
okay, so barring that, I will tell you that there are countless people of my generation that grew up with
That face when fired XD programmer.
right.
you're right.
there are countless people of my generation grew up playing Nintendo and wanted to be the next Shigeru Miyamoto. You want to know where most of them ended up?
Where?
Wage slaves for Electronic Arts, Activision, and other mega publishers.
Hence why I
Slaving
said,
away as code monkeys.
hence why I said indie game dev. Like I'm gonna, once I get my degree in like whether it be programming, I want to take classes for both programming and graphic design because I also want to get better at art. Because if I ever want to get concept art out for my games, because like I'm currently working on a Fakemon region, because I want to eventually make my own ROM hack from the ground up, not just like help to a project, but have my own. I've already come up with a whole region in mind, and I've been designing mons in my head, while some of my friends have been drawing them for me, but I want to get better at drawing, and that's why I also want to take graphic design classes alongside those programming classes, and if I use those skills, I could, maybe hop on some indie dev team, or even make my own game.
Right? That's great. That's absolutely fantastic. What I would recommend, though, is so you don't burn yourself out or get yourself all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, is get a tech-related, tech-adjacent job to pay the bills, like network technology, systems management, something like that, so that you could potentially work for some company like an internet service provider or telecom, or even a big company fixing networks and so on and so forth. And that way, you get the tech training to do that job, as well as learning your graphic design and your programming. And when you can save enough money, try to go to, say, Washington State to go to DigiPen, where they will teach you game design. And there's also game design courses at Full Sail University.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay,
So-
we got some people that haven't joined in on the next match yet. We can... Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, there are numerous tech schools around my state, and so I wouldn't have to go out of state for them, and they're in various different parts. There's even some that are close to me,
Alright.
and I'll just decide to go to whichever one is closest.
Alright, if you're heading out, Hugo, thanks.
So the best campus that there is, because I'm going to go visit the campuses before I apply, because I don't want to end up applying for a campus that has like crappy dorms that are full of bugs or anything, because I've heard cases of like certain
Big Towns
towns
indicate
having like
shit.
campuses that are not the most well kept clean.
Mhm.
Thinking more North Texas area, because there's one more up there,
3,
and
2, 1.
that one's pretty good. Because I've heard the one closest to me isn't that good of a campus, but there is one farther away. I mean, Texas is one of the biggest states, so
It's the biggest state.
it is the biggest state, yeah.
Alaska's bigger.
And yet we keep forgetting it because it's out in the boonies.
Yeah. Well, and it's also way more sparsely populated too, so it's something.
Yeah. But yeah, that I definitely will take that into consideration. And why I said I want to do not just programming, but also graphic design is so not only can I have both those skills for usage in the future, practical usage, but also if someone doesn't want me to be a coder, they want me to be a graphic designer, I can draw them concept art, I can draw full in-game art, I can get good at sprite art, spriting. I've heard if you're good at drawing on paper or like digitally, if you're good at digital art, then sprite work isn't that hard to learn. So
Right.
and I want to learn sprite work for not just my ROM hacking capabilities, but also for certain indie games that, because I personally believe, just under my personal preference, I think, and a lot of people do think this, and it's a lot of reason indie games have gotten popular recently, is pixel art looks so much better than 3D models if done correctly, like in the right game. Like there's this game Katana Zero that I played recently, and it's very fun. It's an indie game that's very fast-paced, hard platformer. But it's got this really nice aesthetic to it. It's got like, you know how you like that stage we always play on like the 80s synthwave or whatever. We always play Sundrive
City.
It's got an aesthetic like that, and it's like in pixel art, and it's really beautiful. A really beautiful game with a great soundtrack. I do recommend it, actually. Maybe, well, I don't know, actually. Hunger doesn't really like to play rage games, so that game's definitely hard. But
Well, the thing is, I think that the whole 8 and 16-bit pixel art look is going to start getting really old really fast. It's like everybody and their dog who can put together code saw the success of Shovel Knight and said, "Ooh, hey, that's the ticket."
yeah, soon enough it will maybe get old, but not for nostalgia people like myself. The fact that 3D modeled games, like AAA games with 3D models, some of them are good, but I've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of soulless AAA titles that don't have good stories or don't have good... Like, there's nothing better in them besides the scenery looking beautiful, and that's about it. Like, the devs put all the work into the beautiful 3D scenery, and that's it. They don't try to make a good story. They don't try to make it good. Not anymore. And it's usually.
Oh, Aquan, you're channeling my inner Cranky Kong, who agrees with you in many ways.
Right. So
yeah.
You know, I don't know. I have done some game design, like not like video game design, but like just designing games. You know, and I designed a game that would be really good as a video game, but
What do you call me?
because it has a lot of stuff to keep track of. Anyway,
It's somebody rang?
No.
Nobody said anything about you. Anyway.
Somebody said soulless, so I jumped in.
It was the term being used as an adjective.
It wasn't your.
I know, I was just
All right. Anyway.
following the joke.
All right.
Anyways.
But yeah. So. Anyway, I think this is probably going to be the last match. By the way.
All right.
So, just yeah. I'm getting sick of this stage that we keep winding up here somehow. So anyway. GG Starstorm. Alright.
Yeah. I definitely can't wait to see another good project come out because I've wanted to make a game since I was the same game I've had in mind. Change things out to make the story less cringy because I will say when in middle school I did have which is around the time I started the project for the game, the idea, late elementary, early middle school. I did have that edgy Pokemon fan game phase where the story was very over the top,
very unbound.
Yeah, very unbound, very edgy and stuff. And then I decided, you know what? As I got older, I'm like, I've actually taken inspiration from multiple stories, but I think something that's really helped me with story writing and is yet another good reason why I love world building series and why Naruto's one of my most favorite is because it's actually given me some tips on how to build your story up, build your characters up, and build your world. And the fact that you want to start out making the characters, don't make them overpowered gods from the start. Don't start out with, someone dying right at the beginning of the game. Instead, you give everyone time to get used to characters so that when those characters do die, it's very emotional. Or when something big happens, it's very powerful and impactful on the player or the viewer.
You should watch. You should watch Ascension of a Bookworm or Ascendance of a Bookworm.
Can we stop talking about Aquan's Pokemon podcast, please?
This isn't Pokemon.
Okay. Anyway.
This isn't even a Pokemon wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thanks so much to everybody who participated. We'll maybe do this again next week if I feel like getting abused. And of course, as always, I do hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
This is the way it had to end.
Hanging out here for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm